kind of a disturbing development that's been going on lately in college sports. It has really been about college players holding these coaches accountable. And you're seeing it a lot, especially as the negotiations are going on around players being able to opt in and opt out for the season. So the NCAA, every school has agreed that across the board, if players decide that they want to opt out of the season, they will still keep their scholarships, but they won't be able to utilize like facilities and all of that stuff, which I think is pretty stupid. You kind of want them to stay in shape. They just don't want to play in the games because they don't feel like it's safe with the traveling or whatnot. That's for another conversation. But they're giving them that option. And that's the most important thing is that the option is very important because some players some players do have families. They have families that they go home to. They have kids. They have parents. And some of them do have like autoimmune disease or deficiencies or issues that if they contract this virus, it could be fatal for them. And these players are thinking about them, not themselves, more so because as a young person, they could recover from it. But we don't even know what their side effects or even long-term issues could be. We don't know yet. And so these players don't want to take that chance. And so the option is great to have. But then a disturbing story comes out of Washington State, where Washington State football coach Nick Rolovich tells wide receiver Cassidy Woods by joining the Unity Group, the one I just talked about last segment, will create an issue. And his rumor had it is that he's released Woods from the team, even though Woods has not even opted out yet. That is a very bad look for Washington State. I mean, first and foremost, where in the hell is Washington State? I know my buddy Boyce, he just told me it's literally 10 minutes outside of University of Idaho, but it's in Washington State. And so that means it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. So you got that. Secondly, it's already hard to recruit to that area because I don't know very many people that wants to go to school up there in, you know what I'm saying, up in Washington State. Mike Leach did a really good job of recruiting and utilizing, what assets he had. But overall, Washington State's never a good football team because it's hard to get talent up there. And Nick basically just made it tough on himself to be able to even get more players who want to come there. Because if you're willing to cut players or release them before they even opt out, just because they want to join a group, a Unity group, and stand tall with their other college football compadres, you have shown your recruits that you're a coach they don't want to play for. I mean, heck, if you kind of look at it, I was looking at an article by Joel Anderson with Slate talking about how with Liberty University pouring a whole bunch of money into their school, a lot of the black athletes are leaving now just because of what they feel like that school represents. Hey, you put the image out there, you project it, people are going to see it. And when they really open their eyes and pay attention to it, don't be mad when they decide that they not be about that mess. They're like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. So they're bouncing. And then the next set of stories that are coming through really just are disturbing to me. So Caleb Farley, who plays for Virginia Tech, he says that the Hokies lax COVID safety measures led to his decision to opt out this football season. And this is what he says. He quotes, "One day I look around and we were like 100 deep in our indoor facility. No mask." So Hokies cornerback Caleb Farley says, "I'm out. Y'all playing games right now. You're not taking this seriously. And because we don't have safety protocols to where if anybody gets sick, I'm not going to be a part of this." And here's the deal. Caleb knows you can't trust everybody on that team. You can't trust them all to go do what they're supposed to do. I've been talking about this, and I'm going to keep hammering into all of y'all's heads. You have to understand, you all have friends and family that do stuff that you question. You all have certain people you're not going to invite to your house right now because of the pandemic due to the fact that you know that they're out kicking it with people that they ain't supposed to be out kicking it with. You know they're the ones that don't wear masks. They're the ones that ain't got no problem with being up in people's face because they don't take any of this seriously. And Caleb knows he has teammates that are the exact same way. So for him, he's not going to play this game. He's pulling out. So then you add that to the list of people, and you're like, goodness gracious, what more could possibly happen today to make all of this stuff go so crazy? Oh, look, we add another wrinkle to the fold. So you've got coaches, Gary Patterson at TCU, utilizing the N-word when chastising some players. Now, let me make sure I back this up and explain. He didn't call the players the N-word. He told them not to use the N-word. Then the players approached him about it the first time and said, hey, man, you can't be saying that. He's like, what? I didn't call him a N-word. That, the first time made the players not show up to practice. They was like, you know what, we ain't even going to practice, and it's going to get worse because of that. That's not a view you want. You don't want that. Gary, you should have known better. Shouldn't have said the words. Look, I understand a lot of y'all have this feeling of if everybody can't use it, no one should use it. That's not how the world works. I'm sorry. Life isn't fair in a lot of capacities. And guess what? That word is a term of endearment for people that look like me. In a way, it's completely different when someone else from other races utilize it. There's a reason. There is a reason that word was leveraged for our people that were in chains as a way to degrade them. So yes, we still use it. Should we? That's debatable, but nobody else should because they know they shouldn't. People that Gary Patterson, we say look like, leverage it as a way as degrading to black people. Whereas we flipped it into a term of endearment with our own, which black people do a lot with a lot of different stuff, but that's not the point. The point is Gary should have never said it like that. He should have thought. Like, I don't understand. It seems like with the way this social climate is going, it seems like people are just doing more stupid shit that they shouldn't be doing. Excuse my French. But they're doing more stupid stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And it just keeps continuing to climb more and more and more. And every time you look up, someone else is doing something else. And it's like, is anyone thinking anymore? Does anyone's brains work anymore? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like everyone is just out there just willy-nilly saying everything. Why are we doing this? Gary, I want you to think about this. I want you to think long and hard. Because this could cost you some recruits. This could piss off a lot of people. Please, step back. Step back. Think about it. You're going to have to put out an apology. And honestly, knowing him, I don't think he will. He should, but he probably won't. It is what it is. So as you see all this craziness going on, please make sure that you do not participate in any of it. Stay calm. And don't do what all these other crazy people are doing.